You are only as strong as your weakest link.
Have you ever taken a tough fall on your wrist? The wrist isn't much more than a bunch of ligaments, bones, and tendons. Nevertheless, it's often the first point of contact with the floor. Have you ever hurt your wrist to the point where it was basically unusable? When I severely sprained my right wrist, I'll never forget how difficult it was to start my car, open my front door, and even brush my teeth, to the point where I had to learn how to do it left-handed. It's why I would suggest building indestructible wrists. Achieving this goal takes time and focused practice, but definitely one worth having. From push-ups to different kinds of handstands to even cartwheels. There's no reason to think of handstands and cartwheels as skills just for gymnasts and dancers. Take a look at Ozzie Smith, for example. His strong wrists and impressive body control contributed to a career with 15 All-Star appearances, 13 Gold Gloves, and a trip to the Hall of Fame. So take a look at the following videos. Watch first, then try it out yourself. Start off with your hands underneath your shoulders. Think about gripping the floor with your fingertips. Keeping those on the floor, lift just the palms and bring them back down. You should feel the stretch through the fingers into the palm. See if you can shift your weight from your pointer finger to your pinky fingers and back. With this movement and every other movement, there's a big difference between discomfort and pain, so try to avoid that latter one. As you get better at these, you can do more contractions or longer holds or more rounds. Next up, we're going to do straight elbow rotations. Gripping the floor with our fingertips, we're going to rotate the pits of the elbows as much as we can each direction. Don't forget to keep applying some force into the floor with your fingertips. The next one we're going to do one hand at a time, and we're going to start by rotating our fingertips about 90 degrees out to the side. Use the other hand for support, and then shift from side to side. Think about using the muscles in the wrists and the forearms to pull yourself into and then push yourself out of the position. You might notice that one side feels a little better or worse than the other, so make sure to do both sides. Then we're going to point our thumbs out to our left and our right and our fingertips towards our knees. You can make it a little easier by bringing those fingertips towards the knees to lessen some of that stretch. You're going to shift back and then same deal. Use the muscles that are being stretched to push and pull yourself into a deeper degree of wrist flexion. Then we're going to flip our hands over and put the back of our hands on the floor while the fingers are pointed. This might take a little getting used to. Maybe bend your elbows and straighten them. Maybe we make fists. But we want to get back to that concept of using the muscles that are being stretched to push and pull ourselves into the position. You might not have to do more dynamic contractions with less holds on this one until you get comfortable, but that's fine. Last up, we're going to get our hands underneath our shoulders. We're going to apply that force into the floor, and we're going to shift forward as far as we can. Using those muscles that are being shortened, you press into the floor to get out of it. So you're pulling yourself in and pushing yourself out in this little tabletop position. So that's it. You can easily do these 6 exercises in about 5 minutes. Do it 3 times a week, 5 times a week, every day. And if we're only as strong as our weakest link, but don't have any weakest links, where does that leave us?